Hello, buddy. Welcome back. I'm the Strategy Professor. Today we're doing a coaching session. This is patch 9.7, and we're going to be looking at Sona. Now, Sona is duoed with Vayne. So, special thanks to Abby, Sona player, for the generous donation. If you'd like a coaching session yourself, you can just email me at thestrategyprofessor@gmail.com. We can set that up. It's just $25 if you are not a channel member, or $20 if you are a channel member. To be a channel member, I'll have a link in the description to show you how to do that. It's like a Twitch sub. It's just $5 a month through PayPal or through YouTube. And you get a discount on any coaching or guides that you may want. You get to join our awesome members-only Discord, and you get to come out and play with us if you want every Sunday for just some normals games, just having fun with other viewers on the channel. So come by, check it out. It'll be a good time. And Abby told me this was a platinum/low gold game. Or a low platinum/high gold game. Okay, so this does look probably a little too aggressive early at level 1. I mean, Sona does have a heal also. I like the aggression, but yeah, spell thieves. And try when you're healing with Sona, at a minimum, go up and try to trade with them when you heal, so that you take advantage of that shield that only lasts for like a second and a half. Because if you're not using that shield, then you're losing a lot of the efficiency of that heal early on. And ideally, if you're duoed with the Vayne, you need to tell the Vayne to go up and take some trades too. Because if you just heal yourself and you're not really healing the Vayne that much, like this right here, that was a lot of overheal, then you're not getting a lot of efficiency out of her heals. It's like, it's 80 mana to heal for like 35 at level 1, which sucks. You know, but as far as mana efficiency. But if you're healing 2 people, then it's 80 mana for a 70 heal, which is not amazing. But if you're using that shield on both people for the additional, like, I think it's like 15 or 20 shield, then it starts to get interesting. So that's one really, like, undervalued thing about trading a Sona early, is you really want to try to make use of that shield. Try to get them to hit you to go in for a trade while you have that shield up, and then also try to get your 80 carry to trade as well. Then once you get a ton of like fairy charms and stuff like that, it doesn't matter as much later on in the game, but early on, it definitely does matter. Because as you can see, they had a lot more resources left. Even though you were the one who was being very aggressive, they had most of the mana, they had most of the health left, because Soraka's heal is way more efficient earlier on in the game. Yeah, it's definitely an overchase. Y'all can't go that far, especially with someone who can roam really well like Lissandra, who can jump over walls and things like that. So yeah, I do like the trading, but I would say just like one auto attack, one Q, you know, and just don't let them hit you back so much, and try to, like, if you can, try to thin up the wave so that you don't have as many minions beating you back also. They could help out a lot. So I would rush. Yeah, Frostfang's good here. And then start getting Athenes. Oh, I need to, sorry, I need to turn off the, wait, what? They changed the interface. Okay, there we go. Yeah, sorry, they changed the interface a little bit, and I forgot to switch that over. There you go. Yeah, I like that kind of trading a lot more, where it's just Q and one auto attack early. Oof. Let me rewind that real quick. How did that happen? Did somebody get arrowed? Okay, traded for the support, which is okay, I guess. Yeah, he's trying to trade with a level 6 before he's 6. Yeah, he should not have turned back around. He should have walked out. So yeah, I mean, I don't mind going for it there. The Soraka is level 4. That's fine. Trading you for the Soraka is probably fine. Although the Ashe did get the kill on you, which is not amazing. Okay, so there's a fight in the jungle, so y'all should definitely rotate up the jungle. Just stop what you're doing right here and run up into the jungle. Like, when they're invading your jungle like that, just rotate up here and help with this. I think if you just help with this, and got that settled first, you know, killed the Kindred, you know, that would have made it a lot harder for Lissandra to dive you. So I would, yeah, I would have just dropped what you're doing and go help. If it's this close, you know, if there's like an invade or a fight happening at Wolves or like over here, yeah, maybe don't do it if you're pushed in. But if you're like this close to it, if it's at your Gromp or like your blue buff, I think you definitely need to drop what you're doing and just run over and try to help. Wait, what? Why did it take me out of that? I don't know. Anyways, yeah, I would push, try to get priority, and then go help the Kha'Zix with the dragon here. So, like, use your Qs, push the minions, and try to rotate over there. You got to push them in first. If you just run over there with the minion wave neutral, then they can follow you. If you push them in, it's less likely they're going to follow you. I guess he's probably just going to get it solo. We don't know where Lissandra is. Talon's top, though, so you got to be careful. I think I just saw Lissandra in the river, right? Or maybe not. Oh, she's top. Okay. Oh, when I press back, then it removes that. That's really annoying. Rito, why you do this to me? Do we know what's... Okay, we see Lissandra top. So I guess that's alright to fight that. Nice ult. Okay. Vayne's really strong, and then you got the Kha'Zix rolling up. Okay, good fight overall. Ashe is 6-1. Vayne's 2-3. Vayne easily dominates her. Basically a 2v2. You even started with really low health there before you got that ult off. Seems like a balanced champ. Alright. I mean, I would have used the imbalanced champs all the time. But any champ can win, they're all equal.
Turret plating will soon fall. Red team
All right, what do you got here? I was just thinking of trolling my class from what we were talking about earlier on a random note while you're just here pushing. We were talking about on stream. I'm streaming this as well. Starts at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Come enjoy the content. We also do tier lists, lots of other stuff on the channel as well. We were talking earlier about a couple of students complained on Anonymous, on Rate My Professor, basically, that, like, you teach more about writing, like, we don't need these ideas, this philosophy from these videos or whatever. I should really, like, hardcore stick them on grammar just to troll them in class. Be hilarious. Be like, okay, today we're going to be learning about split infinitives, dangling modifiers, passive voice. And by God, if you mess anything up with grammar on this essay, I'm docking 5 points per mistake. Y'all want to learn about writing? Let's learn about writing. See if they'd be more interested in that than learning more about how to think critically and perceive the world in a better way. Anyways, okay, so y'all are getting ganked. You shouldn't be up that far without words. Sorry, just a random aside from the stream that I thought about there that'd be pretty funny. Y'all need to be, you need to get more vision up, first of all. I know it's kind of hard when you don't have control over an area, but, like, as soon as you push this up and you see some of them, like you see the Soraka over here and the Lissandra. Now, Cho'Gath's right here, but you need to try to sneak in some wards, at least get them, like, around here. If you can get them in the river, that's great. But yeah, it's really like an unproductive use of your time to just sit with your 80 carry in a side lane. And this is why typically you'll see like the 80 carry and the support rotate over to mid, and then the solo laner will go to the side lane. Because a lot of times they're better suited for that. You just can't have two people like just sit in a side lane, basically. It's going to put you too far out of position. Like, you need to be able to rotate, you need to be able to get vision in certain areas. Because you're the vision, you know, person. And so you need to be in the middle of the map most of the time, unless you have a very specific reason to be going to a side lane. You know, like if you're rotating to try to make a play or something like that. But your default needs to be middle of the map if you're support most of the time. Well, grammar's so petty. I don't know. I don't want to get into it too much because we're in like a coaching session here. The stream's kind of laughing about my suggestion. Like, I do teach them how to write. They just don't think about rhetoric and careful consideration of audience and careful, like, consideration of the type of evidence that you're using and the merits and how well that evidence would resonate with an audience. They don't think of that as writing. It is. That's, like, the most important part of writing. Like, when they're thinking of writing, they're thinking about, like, how do I actually write this paragraph? How do I, like, use commas better? It's like, I can teach you that, but it's not going to be, like... I mean, it's nice, that have immaculate grammar, but realistically, you know, having much better critical thinking and evidence and being more aware of an audience is far more important. Nice. Okay, good rotation. Yeah, just pressure mid-tower. I mean, with the way kind of Twitter and, like, text culture is going and just how, like, international the world is becoming, like, nobody uses proper English grammar most of the time. It's really nice if you can get it. It helps you out with your ethos a little bit, but it's much, much better if you...
Here is the $120. Feel free to spend dem cash. Either we can do a bonus of EN or we do a new campaign game Outlast, Amnesia, or you can spend them on PB and diapers. Anything to help the stream, Professor.
Hey, thanks, Sammy. That's awesome, buddy. That's amazing. That helps out a ton. Fantastic, man. That helps out a lot. Yeah, just let me know if you want to do coaching sessions or whatever. I know that you still had that like counter picking guide or like matchup guide or something from bot lane from a little while ago, and I'm gonna try to catch up on those guides. I know I always say that, but this weekend hopefully I really can. But yeah, that's awesome. No, English is his first. Oh, you're talking about the student in my class? No, they're definitely trolling. There are no ESL students in my class, I'm pretty sure, or whatever second language learners. And they wouldn't say something that disrespectful on a review site also. At least not the Chinese students, which is most of the international students I have experience with. They're usually very polite and very respectful of the professor. Alright, how'd y'all get caught here? Let me see. I think people mess up on there, and there. People use they to be an indefinite pronoun also, like if you don't know the gender of somebody. People use they. That's not correct. You have to choose he or she, technically, in English. There's not a neutral person. Like, the word for neutral is it. But that's a non-person. You don't call somebody an it. Yeah, that's chasing way too far. If you look at the map, you know that your Kha'Zix is over here. You know that your Vayne is bot lane. Like, you don't have the God's Eye view here that it does whenever I rewind. But if you look, like, you know Kha'Zix is over here. You know Vayne's over here. Nobody's in your jungle because you have it warded here and here. Nobody's in the lanes. Nobody's matching the Vayne bot lane. So really the only place they could be, if we pause it here, the only place they could be is, like, in this zone. Right? And since Baron's up, it's likely they're on this half of the map if there's no one split pushing bot lane and there's no dragon. So really the only place on the map, if you look at that before y'all chased, like, the only place they could be is, like, here. Either in this jungle or they're all just in the base. And they all just recalled. Either way, like, when you chase somebody that far, that's giving them time to rotate. So they're getting 10 or 15 seconds to rotate over here. So they're gonna be there. Like, it's like a 90% chance that 4 or 5 people are gonna show up to that. When you chase them through the woods like that. And because, like, you don't know 100% where they are, but you know where they probably are. Based on your vision on the map right now, and you know where your team is, right? So you know Vayne is nowhere close with no teleport in the bot lane. You know that Kha'Zix is taking red, so he's not going to be there. So, like, the rosiest possible scenario here is you have 2 of them just backed or something and are in their base, and you're going to run into a 3v3 in their jungle, and their team is going to rotate faster. The more likely scenario is it's going to be 4 or all 5 of them show up there, so... You know, that's why it's usually a bad idea to chase in places where you don't have vision. Especially if it's that far. If it's, like, greater than 1 screen length on a chase, you really got to just let them go. And I know that,
Our mark is
he is, you know, you probably got baited into that, right? Like, maybe you didn't want to do it, but you got to let people die. If people are doing silly stuff, you just got to let them know. There's no way this person steals that Baron also. So you got to tell your friend, like, you just got to let this stuff go. And there's no way y'all are going to, like, kill them. They could turn around and do the Baron right now, but they're not going to because they don't have their jungler. You can call them a human. You can call them a person. It's just kind of awkward. A lot of times the traditional is you assume he, but you can throw in she if you want. It's really arbitrary. It doesn't matter. Some people say he or she. Like, if a person goes to the store, then he should buy this macaroni and cheese. It's a lot of, like, conjectural stuff, right? Like, if this, when you don't know the gender of somebody, then a lot of people will say, wow, dude, if you go to this restaurant, well, if you're saying you, that's also, you is, I guess, gender neutral, but it has to be, like, direct address. But if you're saying anybody that goes to this restaurant, you know, should buy this, or if a person goes to this restaurant, he should buy this, or she should buy this. You can't say they should buy this. That's grammatically incorrect. If I marked my students on grammar, all of them would fail. All of them. Guarantee it. If I just took off 2 points for every grammar mistake, everyone would fail. Even a lot of the better students. That's why I don't teach it or mark it that much. I talk about it some, but it's just like, it's such a rampant problem, but a lot of it's so pedantic and technical also that it just, there's bigger fish to fry. It's more important to be able to engage critically with the ideas and think about the audience and have proper evidence and stuff like that. Anyways, let's replay this real quick here. Okay. You guys don't have Vlad, so this is dangerous, but you did end up getting a couple of good assassinations. Ashe was really late. So y'all did get a pick there, which is nice. They just kind of misplayed it, and their Ashe wasn't there, but once again, it's dangerous. Now, you did have a ward in here, so you kind of could see where people are, but with Vlad not being there and, like, not having his TP, like, it's kind of a dangerous play, but it worked out that time. They cannot be singular, technically. Like, some people are, there's like a movement to try to do that, but they is not singular. They is plural. There's not a singular gender neutral pronoun other than it or you if it's direct address. Like, grammar helps. It helps with your ethos, you know. It makes you look more professional, more sophisticated. The better your grammar, the more professional you're going to look. But, you know, there are more important things as well. Appealing to the values of your audience is even better. So if you have to pick one, which I do have to pick one because I can't, you know, there's not an unlimited amount of teaching space. It's like if I teach a grammar, like, section in the college level class, then that means I'm not teaching a research section, or I'm not teaching a critical thinking section. Yeah, Streamlabs was a little late there. Were they late on that? Huh. Well, it is almost an insult. That's why people don't use it for gender neutral, because it makes someone into a non-person. Yeah, I think Arden's fine here. There's an argument for redemption as well if you're doing a lot of team fights, but because Vayne is so fed and she's got Ginsu's, then I think Arden's pretty legit also. Yes, we do teach MLA. In English, it's MLA. In most of the sciences, it's APA. English, I think it's just English and history are the only ones that use MLA. There might be a couple of other disciplines, but... And I'm pretty loose with it. I'm like, as long as you give me, like, as long as the author can find the information and you... It's probably okay. It's not going to be okay if you're, like, submitting a professional, you know, paper to try to get published. You have to have your grammar on point. You have to have your MLA citations on point. But for a freshman level class, it's just too hardcore. I think that was fine. It was just, like, an unfortunate play there. Your team just dove towers. Yeah, I didn't want to make this political. Let's not get into the gendered stuff. I was just talking about grammar. My main point was that, like, nobody speaks in proper grammar. No one writes with proper grammar. I don't even speak with proper grammar most of the time when I'm on stream. And I'm an English professor. Like, I don't know. It's fine. Yeah, Vlad's dead. I wouldn't fight this. Don't. If they kill you here, they're gonna get Baron. Don't. I would not fight this at all. Yeah, no. You can't walk like that. You know Kindred's not here yet, but still, I mean, she could be collapsing too. They have so many ways to start fights. Like, they have Ash Arrow. They have Lysandra. Like, and if the fight goes long, they're gonna win. I mean, I don't know. You're pretty good at fights go long too, but so is Soraka. So yeah, there's just, like, no way y'all should have been anywhere close to this. So, like, if Vlad, I mean, y'all got pretty lucky there that they screwed that up. They overchased. They're making a lot of mistakes as well. Kindred didn't rotate. She just kind of ran in circles over here for a little while. Whom is an object as far as who and whom go. So if it's in a prepositional phrase like that, for whom does the bell toll? To whom are you addressing? It's like, for whom is this package? You know, if it's an object of something, then it's whom. If it's a question, it's who. Who did this? But if you're saying that was done by who or whom, it's whom. Usually if it's in a prepositional phrase, it's going to be whom. One that people mess up a lot that people don't talk about is the difference between what and which. What is by definition? What is that? Like, we don't understand the identity of whatever that thing is. Which is a choice. Which is, I have choices between two different options and I'm making a choice. So you should say, like, which restaurant should we go to? Not what restaurant should we go to. Because you're not asking a question of identity, you're asking a question of choice. That's something that people mess up all the time. And it doesn't even get talked about in grammar books. It gets so messed up so often. People know about there, and there. People know about to and who and whom, but almost nobody talks about what and which. But once again, does that really matter when you're trying to communicate with someone? No, not really. But anyways, okay. Go push up mid. Sorry if you're just watching the standalone coaching session. I'm just interacting with the stream, and people keep asking sort of follow-up questions about that. Random grammar stuff that we talked about a couple of games ago. Should be which way.
Shut down.
Less and fewer is another one that I mess that one up sometimes. My wife corrects me on that one. Less is a measurable quantity and few is like, that one's harder to explain because I've messed that one up a lot too. Be like we have three fewer students in this class rather than there are, you know, 3 less students in this class. Hey, thanks for the sub, Doobie. We have a grammar enthusiast here. Alright, yeah, once again, y'all shouldn't be pinned down here. Like, it's nice to be with your AD carry during the laning phase, but near the end of the game, your primary job is not just to protect your AD carry late game. It's to provide vision and to, you know, make appropriate rotations, right? So you don't just want to have 2 people down here babysitting her the whole time. You know, you need to be sort of congregating in the middle of the map most of the time and trying to provide vision to help out the split pushers. And it should be Talon and Vlad in the side lanes, and Vayne should be in the mid lane so that you can be there with her. Gameplay's almost louder than my voice. Hold on, let me turn that down a little bit. Okay, y'all need to leave because you got Kha'Zix top, Talon top. Yeah, you got to look at the map and like back up. These people are just too spread out. Just look at the map whenever you're pushing up deep into their territory, and you just got to think, okay, I know my teammates aren't here, but where could they be? So, like, last time, like I mentioned, you know, if y'all are pushed up to right here, you got to pause and think, like, okay, where could they be on the map? They're getting pressured in all of their lanes. The only place they could be is, like, in here, right? So you know all 5 of them are, like, in this area. So they're very close. They're within 2 screens of you if you push up to here. Right, and then you have to look and see, okay, Kha'Zix is top, Talon's back. So then the best case scenario is a 3v5 here. Or a 2v5 in your case. I think one of your people was dead also. So, you know, once you push up past this tier 2, then you have to back up after that. So yeah, you just got to pause, and especially this is a good habit to get into just anytime you're split pushing. You got to pause and look at the map and look at the situation. And say, like, how many people could be here right now? And, like, what do I do in the worst case scenario? Or what's my escape plan? And if you're that deep, like, you're not getting out, probably. So, like, they didn't get anything, like, huge off of that in terms of, you know, I guess they got a dragon off of it. So that's something. But they did get 2 kills, and it delayed, like, your team has to wait on you to spawn, and all of that stuff. So you don't want to give them kills for stuff most of the time. I mean, you did get a tower there, which is nice. Like, in the long run, technically, now that we, you know, can see what happened out of that, it probably is worth to give 2 kills for a base tower, but once again, you don't know where anyone is here. Like, y'all might be able to outplay this, but So y'all did manage to outplay that just basically on the power of Sona Vayne. But like, you know, Lissandra could have come over this wall. You know, Ashe could have arrowed sooner. There are a lot of bad things that could have happened there. Because you knew it was just you two, and you had everyone else was in random spots on the map, and you had no vision here. So, like, y'all are getting by in this game because just off of the power of your champs, which is why you play strong champs. But if there are games where you're not this far ahead, or games where, you know, you're not playing super powerful champs like this, where you don't have Vayne, and you could get into trouble there. Or games where their team just, you know, plays the situations a little bit better. It's just a super risky play to do that without having pressure in the other lanes and without having any vision. Especially when your team is, like, not even within 3 screens. Wait on Kha'Zix to get pressure. Kha'Zix is trying to push up middle. Okay, that was a nice ult. Yeah, that ult definitely saved the fight. Good. As soon as they get hit, I would probably drop the redemption. As soon as somebody gets arrowed, I'd probably just go ahead and drop the redemption right on top of them and heal them because they're probably going to get bursted out. Okay, so biggest things to work on here, and thanks for indulging me with the, you know, the stream chat there. But I think the biggest stuff here to work on is early on, like, you want to be aggressive, you want to trade whenever you can, but try not to take too much minion aggro. Definitely don't step in front of the minions. Like at level 1, you stepped in front of the minions and took a lot of minion aggro and hits from them. So I like the aggressive attitude, but, you know, try to take, like, more measured trades early on, particularly when the minion wave is thin, if you're pushing into them, so you're not taking as many hits back. And then one of the big things is whenever you heal with the W, try to actively look for a trade when you do that. So try to, like, walk up, auto attack, W yourself, you know, so that you get that shield. So that whenever they hit you, because that adds up. You know, like I said, it's very cost inefficient to start with just to heal yourself pretty much. So tell your AD carry, especially if it's a duo, like, hey, come up and trade with me. And ideally, you're taking an even amount of damage. So you're both getting damaged. And then you're getting more value out of the heal. And then the absolute best scenario is when you're both in active combat, when you both go up for a trade again, then you use the Sona, so you get the heal on 2 people, and you get the shield on 2 people, and the shield's going to be useful. They're going to be hitting you and breaking through that shield. So that's the ideal scenario where it actually does become cost efficient. So you can't do that with every AD carry. Most of them will just sit there and watch you. But especially if you're duo, you can tell your duo, hey, let's, you know, you can explain how Sona works and say, hey, let's be more aggressive, both of us, so that, you know, we take an even amount of damage and my W is more efficient early. And I know Vayne is not, like, really known for trading early, right? Like, she's kind of a farm-up champ, but especially with Sona into that kind of lane, like the Soraka Ashe lane, I think that you could go for some light trades and probably be okay. So that's one thing, is try to just make better use of the healing, better use of the trades early on. Another thing, and I think a big one here, is just map awareness and don't get baited into chasing. So the best thing to look at is just to think, the easiest thing is just look at the map and see where your team is, right? So if they aren't, like, within a couple of screen links of you, if they're off doing random stuff, like the Vlad bot lane and the Kha'Zix doing his red that one time when you chased around the enemy blue, then don't do it. You just think, okay, the maximum we're going to have is 3 people chasing this right now. I don't see any enemies on the map, So I have to assume that they could be here. So just always assume if you don't know where the enemy is that they're going to be close by. And then just play relatively conservative around that. And that'll help you out a lot. And even if your team's running in there doing stupid stuff, just ping back a lot. I don't know if we could see all of the pings here in the replay. I think we can see the pings, but not the chat. But you need to be pinging a lot. You need to be telling them back up, and just not only back, but like ping the portrait of somebody dangerous that could be there. So just ping back a lot, and then just ping like Lysandra like 3 or 4 times, just to let them know she could be there. So yeah, and if they want to keep going, you know, just hang out really far in the back as much as you can. But yeah, that was a big thing, is y'all took like some pretty bad fights that you could have predicted where you were outnumbered. Now, some of those you were able to outplay them, like that last sort of skirmish in the mid lane. You guys chased up into darkness. They all could have been there, but they weren't, fortunately, and you were able to outplay them. Right? They kind of trickled in one by one, you outplayed them. But that can help you foster bad habits too. If you're winning some of those bad trades, then you'll do that in future games, and that can make it very difficult to climb. Especially as you're starting to move into platinum, like you said before, you're like high gold or low plat. That's where kind of that macro knowledge really comes into play a lot. So I think that those are 2 of the biggest things. Is just work on your trades, try to work around Sona's strength, which is the shield and the double heal bot lane early. Look for the enemy and just try to, you know, estimate where they could possibly be, and if you don't know, just assume they're close by. Other than that, I think in organized team fights you did really well, right? Like you got the four person ult there, which was great. That definitely saved the game there at the end. But it's just being patient. The final thing, I'll give you a 1/3 thing here to work on, is try to be in the center of the map most of the time and get your solo laners to go to the side lanes. So get the Vayne to go middle so that you can help protect her, but then also that'll allow you to rotate to the side lanes if you need to, but it'll also allow you to keep vision around Baron or to keep vision around Dragons or whatever. Because when you get to higher elos, if they see you down bottom with Vayne and y'all are trying to farm down there, they're going to know you don't have teleport, and they're going to be able to go in around the Baron. And they may not be able to do Baron right off the bat. Maybe they can if they have a really fast Baron team, but at a bare minimum, they're going to clean out all of your vision if you have any vision there, and they're going to load it up with vision. And so now they're going to have a huge zone of control that's very important. And so then if they're able to push up your mid lane and push up your top lane, you're going to have to face check that. And you don't have anyone on your team that can face check that. You don't have any like proper tanks. So it's a really bad situation. They didn't punish you for that too much, but that's why you don't want to go bot lane. Really, you don't want anyone bot lane that doesn't have teleport, but especially you don't want to support your AD carry bot lane, because that's 2 people that they know are not going to be there to contest the vision around Baron. So, anyways, that's going to be it. Hopefully that helps you out. So just work on the trading and lane a little bit more. Just pause, look at the mini-map a little bit, and just see if it's a good idea to chase. And then try to, in the mid-game, sort of centralize yourself around the middle of the map so that you can keep better vision control and you can rotate to different situations a little bit better. Excuse me. But that's going to be it. Thank you very much. Once again, I appreciate it, Abby. Anyone else out there that would like a coaching session, you can email me at thestratchprofessor@gmail.com. More than happy to help you out. You can also just donate money if you enjoy the channel, like Sammy. Thanks again. Special shout out to Sammy for that 120 during stream. That's amazing. And check out the rest of the content on the channel as well. We have lots of tier lists, coaching sessions, guides, individual champion playlists. So if you just want to watch all Sona, all Soraka, whatever, we've got playlists for you there. We have a super friendly, chill community. As you can see, I interact with the stream a lot. I try to really have a conversation even when I'm playing. And so just come by, check it out. It's awesome. Be sure to like and subscribe as well. It's free. Just takes a couple of really easy clicks. You can uncheck the bell. I do release a lot of videos. If you don't want notifications, if you're like, well, he's going to flood my notifications if I do that, that's fine. You can take off the bell if you want to, and then just come by and check it out whenever you want. But don't let that stop you from hitting that like and subscribe if you do enjoy the content. I also have a link in the description to more coaching sessions. So I think this is going to be like pretty close to the 170th coaching session that I've done on the channel. So if you want to watch more coaching sessions like this, try to learn a little bit more, then go ahead and do that. Check out the coaching session. It's got a nice picture of the champion that I'm playing. And so it's real easy to find the types of games you might be interested in. But anyways, that's going to be it. Thank you very much, and I'll see you next time.